Like damn, she wanna afford to touch me. I say I want it, and she got it.
What's good? It's your boy Jay. That's me. AEW Dynamite from August the 28th, 2024 was 1000% awful. It was garbage, a waste of time, pathetic. I have no idea what is on the mind of Tony Khan and friends. I have no earthly idea. This show sucked. It sucked. Oh my God. What a waste of time. What a waste of a show. So we kicked the show off with Jon Moxley. We haven't seen him in 2 months since Forbidden Door, so Tony Schiavone gives him a microphone. Mox gets on the mic. He says that he's been doing a lot of thinking since that night, stating that he's been looking for a man who isn't here tonight to have a long conversation that's long overdue. To have a conversation that's long overdue. So he's talking about Darby Allin. He says that he'll not be hard to find, that being Jon Moxley. So Jon Moxley starts to leave the ring. And then Tony Schiavone is about to say something, but then Moxley interrupts. And he says, it's going to take some time for everyone to wrap their head around this, but we can start tonight. Then he points at Tony Schiavone saying that this is not your company anymore. And so Tony Schiavone is confused as fuck. And that was the end of the segment. Now, I know people are saying, well, this could be leading to Jon Moxley and Shane McMahon taking over AEW. What? What the fuck are you talking about? No, that's not going to happen. So, it is what it is. To me, it's not all that important. I don't care. We have to wait and see and really let this thing play out and give it time to actually breathe and grow before we jump to conclusions. So this is something that we're going to have to wait and see. Moving right along. First match of the night. Hangman Adam Page defeats Tomohiro Ishii. And I wanted to literally split my television with a fucking axe. Just hack away my television. Piece by piece. And not give a single fuck. This match was stupid. It was a waste of time. I have no idea why Tony Khan continues to push Tomohiro Ishii. It makes no damn sense. It's a crime against humanity. I do not get it. So, Swerve, he comes out post-match, and he gets on the mic. He calls Hangman Page a petulant child, constantly failing over and over again. Swerve may not have gold around his waist, but he's always been known as a world champion, and everyone will know whose house this is. So, Hangman gets on the mic. He says that Swerve is not a champion, pointing out that Swerve has never beaten him on his own. It's always been Prince Nana. In the first bout, Nana and Brian Cage in the second, and the third time he couldn't beat him in 30 minutes. Hangman wants to lock everyone else out, to which Swerve seems to accept the challenge for a steel cage match at All Out. Swerve asks Hangman what kind of man is he. Looking back when Hangman Page gave up in the middle of the ring all those months ago. So Swerve talks about how Hangman was helping out his wife backstage, helping her into the car before driving off to become a father for the second time. Congrats. That was the kind of man Page was supposed to be, but Swerve's focus was on winning the AEW World Championship. He's done this, and mark his words, he'll do it again. But Hangman Page, he's so focused on Swerve Strickland that he can't He couldn't win the Owen. He couldn't win the Casino Gauntlet, and couldn't even help his own team win Blood and Guts. Swerve asks, what kind of man will he be at All Out? Better yet, what kind of man is he going to show up as? So this angers Hangman Page, and then he just leaves the ring, and that was it. So this was a fine segment. This is good. This makes perfect sense. We are going to possibly end the feud between Swerve and Hangman, but I doubt it. I do think that we'll end up having Hangman be champion before the end of the year for sure. If not at Full Gear, definitely at World's End. So at one of those two pay-per-views, I expect Hangman to be world champion. And Swerve will probably defeat him for that next year. Maybe at Double or Nothing or something like that. But we'll have to wait and see. Moving on. So this leads us to Jamie Hayter. She defeats Harley Cameron. So we were shown why Jamie Hayter came back, because she was taken out by Saraya back at Double or Nothing 2023. So that's why her and Saraya are feuding. So that's cool. That makes sense. That's interesting, I guess. Moving on. So, the Learning Tree and Roderick Strong, they're backstage. So, W. Morrissey addresses the fan reaction on Sunday. Before Chris Jericho is asked about losing the FTW title on Sunday, Chris Jericho says hi to the fans before talking about a hard-fought match and admitting that Hook is the champion once again, but only because he took the advice of the Learning Tree. So then Roderick Strong talks about Orange Cassidy being bad news, to which Chris Jericho agrees, as Orange Cassidy still owes him $7,000 or $7,000 for a ruined jacket, and he plans on making all four of their opponents pay the price tonight. Okay, that's fine, I guess. Moving on. So MJF, he's out next. So he denounces his American citizenship. He runs down to everybody. He says that he denounces his American citizenship, except to stay in the most beautiful place on earth, Plainview, Long Island, New York. So he talks about Will Ospreay, saying that he had the match won, but when Ospreay gets to the top prize in the business, he'll be there to ruin his life, and he'll enjoy it. So he calls out Daniel Garcia for what he did at All In. So Garcia, he comes in from behind. He takes out MJF. He chokes the shit out of him with a guillotine choke. And he attempts to power drive MJF, but Max is able to fight through it. And security comes out to separate both guys, and Garcia attempts to go for the power driver one more time, but officials break it up. So Daniel Garcia then gets on the microphone. He reveals that he pawned off the Dynamite Diamond ring in order to get a one-trip ticket to London to ruin the biggest moment of MJF's life. So Max is incensed as Daniel Garcia tells him that he went to Tony Khan to get a match All Out, but a match isn't enough. He wants to drop MJF with a power driver and break his neck, and if anyone cares about him, they'll have to watch Max suffer. Then he throws the mic at MJF. He lawn darts it, which is fucking awesome. This was great. I love this. Tremendous stuff by Daniel Garcia. It makes sense. He's got vengeance on his mind, and he's got something to prove. He's got a lot of passion and rage built up inside, and he talked like a man, which was excellent. So really good promo stuff by Garcia. We need the type of Daniel Garcia going forward. This should be his new character gimmick. He already had the in-ring stuff down pat for sure. But this promo really made me smile to an extent because you could tell that Daniel Garcia was 100% serious, and he made me 100% believe everything that he said, that he's going to do whatever it takes to break the neck of MJF, and I love that. Really good shit. So Daniel Garcia has my respect. Really good stuff. Moving on. The 8-man tag, All-Star, who cares? Chris Jericho, Brian Keith, W. Morrissey, and Roderick Strong versus Orange Cassidy, Hook, Mark Briscoe, and Kyle O'Reilly, the conglomerates for the good guys. So the heels, they won. Who cares? Post-match, Roderick Strong and the Undisputed Kingdom, they beat the shit out of Hook. So, my bad. I'm sorry about that. Hook got the win for his team via the Red Rum. So, it is what it is. Who cares? So, post-match, there was a beatdown by the Undisputed Kingdom to Hook. So, we all know where this is going. Roderick Strong versus Hook. We've seen this a couple times before. Who gives a fuck? Fuck this. This is worthless. Continuing on. So Mercedes Moné, she's celebrating her title defense backstage. It was with her and Camille and a couple other people. So it was interrupted by a private party who insists you can't have a party without them. And so basically, I believe it was Mark Quinn who tried to hit on Mercedes, but she's like, nah. So Kazuchika Okada, he steps in, and Mercedes wants to know how to say bye, bitches, in Japanese. And so Okada whispers that into her ear, and that was it. So who cares? Private party, they deserve so much better. They need to either be in TNA or NXT. Like, come on. AEW continues to give them the axe. They've been doing that for the past 2 or 3 years now. Actually, I would say for the past 5 years straight. Moving on, so Mariah May is out next with Tony Schiavone. So she was going to have a women's world champion celebration, but she decided to postpone it because she refuses to hold such a big occasion for this town. So she mocks the crowd since they were in Champaign, Illinois. She says she's going to show them a glimpse of the glamour by saying, look now, never forget, this is your world champion. So she undresses. We see her. She looks good. She's wearing some nice little lingerie and whatnot. And I love this. Really good stuff here. Mariah May continues to be a gem. And she's great, you know. She kicks ass. Really good shit from Mariah May. I'm digging what she's putting down. I really am. I'm loving it. Moving on. The Grizzled Young Vets, they had a backstage vignette. They didn't say too much of anything. They're going to make their debut on Rampage. Wow. Do I care? Fuck no. I do not care. Moving on. Tenosuke Takeshita. We got to see him in the G1 Climax. In the G1 Climax tournament in Japan. So he's going to be making his return to Rampage in a Fatal 4-Way. Yawn, who cares? Takeshita should have been on this show. Takeshita deserves better, for real. Like, seriously. Why is he not feuding with anybody? Tony Khan, what the fuck are you doing with him? I have no idea. I mean, the guy's talented. Takeshita is super good. He really is. Moving on. So, this leads us into Ricochet versus Kyle Fletcher. Ugh. Ricochet wins. He wins via the reverse DDT. It's like a lifting reverse DDT. He calls it the vertigo for the 1, 2, 3. This match felt like it was forever. It shouldn't have lasted no more than about 2 to 3 minutes because it's Kyle fucking Fletcher. So post-match, Will Ospreay comes out. He lays down the International Championship. He's about to have a stare down, but Pat comes out. He hits a poison Rana on Will Ospreay, and so Pat then proceeds to mockingly welcome Ricochet to AEW, telling him to get to the back of the line, mate, where he belongs, as Will Ospreay belongs to Pac. So that leads us to Pac running off from Ricochet, and Ricochet goes to check on his homeboy, Will Ospreay. All right, this is fine, I guess. We all know that this is leading us into Will Ospreay versus Ricochet. Give it some time. We'll probably get that either at Full Gear or at World's End in December. So we'll have to wait and see. Or we could even get it at Wrestle Dream. So, yeah. Moving on. So, Jon Moxley, he's backstage. Some security guys are trying to get a reason out of why Moxley said what he said, and then him and Marina Shafir beat the shit out of a couple guys and stuff, and that was it. So who cares? I mean, this is fine, I guess. Moving on. So Bryan Danielson, he's out next. Bryan Danielson, he comes out, he gets on the mic, says that his contract with AEW was up on it's been up since August 1st. He has neck surgery coming up soon, and his family's ready for him to come home. He's had a lot of thinking to do since Sunday and a lot to say. He thanks the company and everyone in it for working so hard, talking about his love for pro wrestling and AEW's existence, and his and AEW's existence makes the business and his life better for it. When he thinks of all the things people who started this company did, and appears in the back of everyone who will wrestle at AEW in the future, he realizes it's probably time for him to go home, but not yet. He will not retire as AEW World Champion. He will fight for this title as hard as he can. Don't get it twisted. As soon as he loses this title, his full-time career is over, but it won't be anytime soon because he has a lot of heads to kick in. So he then proceeds to lay out an open challenge to anyone at all out in Chicago, but it has to be a young cat. So it ends up being Jack Perry. So he had a backstage vignette. He talks about punching Tony Khan, making his own story by becoming TNT champion, and the last time he stood across the ring from Danielson, he pinned him despite being set on fire. Jack Perry says his future is to retire the American Dragon, and his and AEW's future are one and the same. Bryan Danielson's future, however, is standing behind him. So Jack Perry then beats the shit out of Danielson. He hits the knee strike on Danielson, and he holds up both the AEW World Title as well as the TNT Championship. And we go off the air. So this is fine, I guess. I'm not a fan of Jack Perry. I'm just not. He's okay, but come on, man. Like, this shit cannot be the main event of All In. I'd rather have Swerve and Hangman main event All In. I mean, my bad, All Out. So that should be the main event for All Out. It should be Hangman Page and Swerve Strickland, Steel Cage. That should be the main event. This, however, strikes me as something that you could open the show with. So you could do Danielson, MJF. So, yeah. But Dynamite sucked. Like, this show was awful. There was a couple good segments that we got out of it, like Swerve and Hangman, but there's still a cage match coming up, as well as MJF and Daniel Garcia. And that was basically it. Everything else I didn't give a shit about. Oh, my bad. Mariah May did good also. So there were 3 things that were good on the show. Everything else I just didn't give a shit about. And we have to wait and see to see if Shane McMahon is going to even come into AEW. We'll have to wait and see with the Jon Moxley, Marina Shafir stuff. We'll have to wait and see how that plays out. But all in all, AEW sucked, and it was not a good show, except for a couple of things. But what did you guys think? Like, comment, subscribe. Peace.